So I think if you want to change your name, you should change your name. I don't think there's a good reason not to. And I know it's difficult right now in America to make some of those changes. It's not really what I'm talking about. So, like, wherever you are in the world, or like however easy it is wherever you are, if you can change your name legally, that's one thing. But you can also just go by a different name. And I get that it's like socially cumbersome sometimes. Like, it's hard to tell every single person you know and interact with at once that you're changing your name, right? So you keep hearing your old name, people mistakenly call you by it, and you have to correct them. Like, it's a process, You're looking at me confused. Am I saying something wrong?
Like, where are you going with this?
Where I'm going with this is, if there was a button that you could hit, you could press, instantaneously, every single person in the whole world just knew that you had a new name. Just completely removing the social steps it takes, the sort of cumbersome elements of name change where you have to work at it over time away. And in an instant, everyone calls you by whatever name you want them to call you by. Or at least everyone knows that you have a new name. Would you change your name to anything?
Well, I already have my name.
But would you change your name to anything else? Like, would you go by Lex? If you could press a button and instantly every single person would call you Lexington, which is your, like, proper name, would you do it?
Well, that's what I'm gonna make the government do.
But is that what you want people to call you?
I'm already called Lex, which is my name that I want to go by.
So even if it was easy and all of the barricades were removed and you could, like, wave a magic wand and instantaneously everyone would know what your name is, you wouldn't change it. You wouldn't do it because you're happy with your name.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, which I think is a testament to say that we found our names.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of surprised that you wouldn't want people to call you Lexington.
Well, it's too long.
It's 3 syllables. You get a problem with people who have 3-syllable names?
No, it's just too many letters.
9?
Yeah. How many does your name have? LA1VER3.
It has 8 letters.
Okay.
So, since you're such an expert at counting.
And would you change? So you wouldn't, because you already have your name. That's what I'm trying to say.
If I was in your position and everyone called me Lav, like, I know people do call me that for short, but if, like, that, because, like, to pretty much everyone, your name is Lex. And I know you want to make your legal name Lexington, but your name is Lex. Like, my name isn't Lav. That's a nickname. My name is Lavender. But if everybody thought that my name was just Lav and I could wave a magic wand and become Lavender, I would do it. Because the full version of the name is what my name is.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm hearing from you is that Lex isn't a nickname. Lex isn't shorthand. Like, Lex is what you actually really do want everyone to know you by and refer to you as all the time.
Yeah, for me, I think of Lexington as a nickname. But it would also be my government name. It's like a fancy version.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think we may be the wrong people to have this discussion. I saw a tweet today that made me want to bring this up, is why I say. But because I don't think the kind of social inhibitions are the things to, like, stop us or drag things out. Like, we've already made name changes and pronoun changes knowing that it was going to take time and be difficult in certain ways, but that stuff is not going to hold us back. So, like, if either of us wanted a new name, we'd have done it already.
Yeah, I mean, I changed my name before I was trans, and it was kind of difficult because, like, no, people didn't get it because, like, cis people don't really change their name like that.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean,
because I was, like, still an egg when I changed my name to the public.
Do you remember...
And I would have snapped my fingers if I could have.
Do you remember your internal dialogue changing your name as an egg? Like, do you remember, like, what materially compelled you to do that?
Because there were too many other people in my same grade with my name, and it pissed me off that no one was ever talking to me when they said my name.
That's really interesting, because your name is a shorthand
of my dead name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I did admitted, like, I was conscious that it was a gender-neutral name, but I didn't unpack that yet. I just thought that was, like, cool and edgy.
That's interesting. I can see that, actually. I was a little surprised to hear that you didn't feel the sort of gendered implications of that. But I guess before that kind of stuff, before you start asking yourself those kind of questions, that stuff is far from obvious.
Yeah, I changed my name the first day of 9th grade, and, like, to me it was like a high school reinvention moment rather than a gender affirmation moment.
That's awesome. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Did you... Sorry, I don't want to talk about your childhood too much, but did you go to high school with a bunch of similar people that you had gone to, like, younger grades with?
Yeah, and, like, yes, and when I said my name on the, like, first day of school, I remember getting weird looks, but I was just very assertive about it.
You were like, whoa, who's the new they?
Yeah.
I'm Lex.
And, like, people would still call me the old name, but, like, you know, it phased out because new people were meeting me with my new name, and, eventually just everyone called me Lex. And this was a totally non-trans thing, too. Like, no one... It was not trans to anyone, even. I feel like this was, like, pre-woke.
Pre-woke! That's interesting. My name change was explicitly trans, but it sort of rolled out in waves. Like, it was a thing that started with my closest friends, and then people I went to school with, and then, like, my social media.
Mm-hmm.
One step at a time.
Yeah, but you would have snapped your fingers if it was just anyone
yeah,
would.
I mean, that question isn't like...
Like, what was the tweet that you're referencing?
It was like... It was a tweet that basically said something along the lines of, like, there's so many trans people who know what they want, and it being a little bit cumbersome and slow and difficult is the only thing preventing them from doing it. Like, there's a lot of people out there who would change their name or would change their pronouns if they could wave a magic wand and have it happen instantly, and they drag their feet on it because they don't want to deal with the more methodical, slower, annoying parts of that process. And I think the crux of that was, like, just fucking do it, and you'll be happy that you did.
Yeah, I think that's true, because, I mean, technically I did wait for a more convenient time to change my name, even though it wasn't for trans reasons. Like, I chose a time when it was like a transitional period where I was meeting new people and in a new environment, kind of like when you move towns and change your name,
mm-hmm.
or like when dolls get canceled and change their name.
The insinuation that can only happen to dolls is funny.
Sorry.
Don't get me wrong, I totally agree with the advice in that tweet. I was just thinking, I wonder if for either of us there is anything that we want that we were being inhibited by similar social ladders to prevent us from actually doing. But I think, one, we would do it anyway because we've already been through changing our names and changing our pronouns. And two, we've kind of built an environment of people for ourselves that would make it really easy to do any kind of change like that.
Yeah, but if I could snap my fingers to make an easy change, obviously I'd change my legal name. That's like a hurdle that I'm facing. And like I have to renew my passport anyway, but whatever. And Okay, but what I would snap my fingers and change is I would have flat nipples.
I know you've investigated like the top surgery or the procedures of sorts that can leave you with flat nipples. Is that like something you imagine pursuing at any point?
It's kind of like excessive. Honestly, I think I just want to feel included in all the trans people who want surgeries, because I was trying to think of a surgery that I would want, and I don't want like top surgery, but my nipples are too pokey sometimes, but I like having the breast tissue, so I think I could benefit from having my nipples flattened, which is a surgery that cis men get when they're insecure about their pokey nipples.
I weirdly kind of relate to the first thing you said about just wanting to be included in that everyone wants a surgery. Like, I don't really have very much dysphoria, so like I don't really pine over FFS. Like, my titties could be bigger, but they're cute regardless. I like them. Like, don't really want a full bottom surgery. I want an orky, but only as like an act of performance art.
Right, like, have we talked about the orky on the podcast?
I don't think so. I have you know how like sometimes things start as a bit and then they're not a bit anymore?
Yeah.
This started as a real thing that I wanted, which was for my Dom, friend of the show, who's been in the Peanut Gallery for 2 episodes, to perform a DIY orky on me in front of a bunch of dolls and T-boys and transsexuals and stuff. I think that's a really cool idea and something that I would, genuinely be committed to doing. But when you say that to people who aren't familiar with your game as a certified snuff kitty, they think that it's a joke, and they think that it's a funny joke. And so when I advertised a party that we had on Lex, the Lex app, as a DIY orky party, a lot of people interpreted it that way. And so now it's a bit, and I'm hoping that it kind of takes the conduit of bit to back to real life thing. Because I know my Dom has been actually doing some reading on DIY surgery recently.
But you don't want an orky for gender affirming reasons.
No, I don't think so. I think if I could wave a magic wand and have an orky, I would think about it and probably not do it.
Because you want people to watch you have your orky DIY'd, and snapping your fingers would remove that.
That's not the only reason, but that is a good reason. That's the dream,
So we're coming on a 15-minute intro here.
I'm sure much of it will be pared down. We spent a lot of time thinking about the questions that we're asking each other. Welcome to episode 15.
Is this 15?
Of Brain Frot. Yeah, Maxwell was around for episode 14 to talk about the difference between furries, pet players, and leather pups. And now we're back to the old dynamic duo. My name is Lavender.
My name is Lex Ington.
Today, we have to get each other into some trouble. We have to get each other not canceled, but we have to get each other's words deliberately misinterpreted so as to upset people based on their romantic style.
Mostly me, because I know that... No, you're shaking your head.
It's not mostly you.
Okay.
Playing the victim card here, because you got a monogamous girlfriend all of a sudden. You're like, no, monogamous people are so persecuted. Wrong. Everybody thinks poly people are ugly and annoying.
That's cis people who we don't care about.
I agree. So let's start with the premise. I am about as poly as they come. Several partners, pretty ran through. And go ahead.
That's something that I've been meaning to ask you on the podcast. Is an official girlfriend count?
I guess like 3.
Active.
Yeah, I suppose 3. But there's a couple of people that I would probably have to have a conversation with to see if they would be upset by not being included in the count. At least 2 other people that I should probably at least consider. But I think the squad right now, the poly squad is looking at a strong 3 at a minimum. Let's call it that.
Okay, and that's pretty solid.
Pretty happy with that. Yeah. Not chasing after any more relationships at the moment.
And couldn't even keep track of the hoes.
I would definitely need to create one of those Diary of a Wimpy Kid diagrams for my own polycule.
Right, for the full roster.
Although I did post a meme today about how cute it is to be a poly bottom on Valentine's Day. I got so many flowers, so many gifts from all my shorties. It's a good time. Anyhow, as a representative for the polyamorous delegation, I will say I go big rather than going home. I'm poly as fuck. And for most of the time that we have been recording this podcast, you have been, would you describe it as solo poly?
At that point, just say single, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're single, but, getting around.
Sure.
And entangling yourself in romantic prospects, at the very least, with several people.
Yeah, I guess, single, but mostly involved with poly people, which kind of made me de facto poly.
And at some point, even in the history of this podcast, we had talked about how you could envision yourself in a polycule one day. And we were going through a little bit of a ran-through era for you, too. And somewhere along the line, I think you sort of realized you might just be a monogamous person.
Yeah, I could see myself in a list of specific relationship structures, which include a triad where we're all kind of with each other, hierarchical poly where I have a primary partner and then we're open or have other partners on the side and whatnot. That was what I was expecting to happen if I got in a relationship, because I can also see myself in a monogamous relationship, but only for the right person.
So hold your applause, dear listeners, for just a brief few moments, because our boy went out and got themselves a queen.
Yeah, I would say the right person has come to where I feel completely at this moment satisfied in a monogamous relationship. Because I will say monogamy can definitely be boring. And if it wasn't with the right person, I would be bored. Because I have my Venus in Gemini.
Yeah. So congratulations, by the way, before we start arguing. First episode of the podcast since you got yourself the girlfriend you've been wanting for so long.
Mm-hmm.
The streets are so happy for you.
Actually, the streets are devastated.
I don't think have people actually been devastated? I feel like everybody's been really happy for you.
Yeah, people have been happy.
Because you've been off the market for a while for most people. Most of the people pining after you, either you haven't been hooking up with them for a while, or you've made it clear that you have no interest in them.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't think there's a whole ton of people who are like, damn, that pussy's gone, no. It's people had already come to terms with the lack of access before your relationship started. So now everybody is just happy that you're happy.
Yeah, if anyone's devastated, it's my Grindr hookups or whatever.
Yeah. Well, surely they are pouring one out.
Yeah. But
Not even the one person who has the fairest claim to be devastated, which is the person you had been routinely hooking up with on the side for a year, even they're really happy for you.
yeah, they are.
Everyone's really happy for you.
Yeah.
So take in this moment of sheer joy, your T for T relationship, the T for T love that the streets have for you. Now that you've taken all of that in, what is wrong with your brain?
Nothing.
I just don't. To me, the having been poly, the having had your cake and eaten it too, and then turning back around and going monogamous, I just couldn't do it. I love it for you, but I couldn't do it. And I wonder, I'm not actually here to bully you. I think we're here to ask each other questions more than anything else. But I'm curious why you feel like there's something to a monogamous relationship that's exclusive to a monogamous relationship. Like, why? Because I feel like I can feel the same love and affection and dedication and attentiveness and attraction to a person in a poly relationship that I could in a monogamous relationship.
I think that's true. You can definitely, like, that same capacity exists in both poly and monogamy. But my explanation is just that we're so crazy for each other that we don't even have the space to think about anyone else. Like, we are so obsessed with each other in, like, a possessive way. And I know you can have possession in polyamory too, in, like, you know, more like a kink dynamic, I guess. But this possession is, you know, in the romantic realm where, like, we don't want to see the other person with anyone else, and like we're only for each other, and like we revel in that. It feels very special to us.
What would you say? I'm not saying I necessarily believe this, just that it comes up a lot. What would you say to someone who insinuated that desire for possession was toxic?
I would say that's probably true. I would say that definitely in previous relationships, I have experienced that possessiveness towards someone who did not welcome that upon them. Like it was one-sided possession. But this is mutual, consensual possession, which I think makes it not as toxic. I guess the dynamic, you could argue it's toxic, but like in this specific relationship, it's not. I don't see it as actually toxic because we're both like on the exact same page.
Well, yeah, and only in the transgender community is this, you know, even like you're in society, you're defending from the higher ground right now. It's only within the trans community, in particular the T for T community, that you feel like your back is against the wall for defending being monogamous. Yes,
like in society, possessing your partner is the norm in a toxic way, I would say, certainly. But I feel that in this particular relationship, hold on, I'm losing my track of mind. I feel that, what was I talking about?
That how cis society,
romantic
possession is.
Okay. Because the T for T community, I feel that it's very, free love, where we're like trans people are subverting expectations by, giving love freely to as many, friends and partners as they want, which, like, I encourage, but, like, I selfishly only want me and my partner to have eyes for each other. And, like, it is selfish and it is possessive, but I really feel like we're going against the grain in our own community by saying that, because it's almost like a political thing. Like, I feel that polyamory is kind of like a political mindset of free love, in that, we're all like communists.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're making like a capitalist communist sort of analogy right now.
So, like, it makes sense that framework would apply to the way that we love.
Mm-hmm.
And, trans people are often all about defying societal norms.
Mm-hmm.
So, it makes sense why possessiveness would be seen as toxic. But it feels almost kind of radical to us that we can completely rely on each other and be there for each other. And, like, obviously we have a lot of love for our friends, and I'm, like, pro the concept of free love, but, like, not for me.
But I'm different.
Like, it just feels so much, it feels so special to have one person who is your ride or die, and, like, they're your ride or die, like, it's mutual. Like, I feel like in poly relationships, I never really felt prioritized by my partners, which is not, like, necessarily a flaw in polyamory itself, but that's just the way things rolled. Like, I always encountered people who had primary partners, whether they called it primary or not. They always had someone who was their number one, as Charlie XCX would say.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I just wanted someone who was my number one.
Your number one angel.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, you mentioned relying on one person, which I think hits at a principle of T for T polyamory, then that being the acknowledgement that for most people, one singular other person will never be capable of fulfilling every desire you ever have forever.
I think that's true.
And I think that's at the heart of a lot of our polyamory, is an understanding that, be it kink, be it romance, be it even more practical measures, housing and financial measures, it's difficult, and some would say even impossible, to truly and honestly be thoroughly satisfied and have all of the needs that you have to have in another person as a romantic partner, as a sexual partner, and as a life partner fulfilled forever by one single person. And so I've never really had jealousy of a girlfriend going out and seeking something she needs that I can't give her from someone else. However, when you talk about it, it's not just this idea that you've met someone that you believe and that so far has been able to fill all of those needs for you. There's almost a romantic fetishization of the idea that they don't really have the option to go to anyone else, or more so that they wouldn't want to go to anyone else. Like, do you feel a satisfaction internally? And this may make you feel a little toxic, but you can admit it if you want to. Do you feel a satisfaction that you're capable of fulfilling everything that she needs in all of those roles, at least as far as you know?
Well, let me say that no, I don't think I can fulfill every single thing that she needs, and I don't think that one person can fulfill actually everyone's true needs. I think there is a romanticization of this dynamic. Like me and my girlfriend were actually talking about it last night, that it kind of turns us on that we're only for each other, that so many people want to fuck us but they can't. And that is toxic, and we love that.
That is toxic, and we love that.
Because, like, that is sexy to us.
That's interesting. I think a lot of people would disagree face up that that's toxic because they just have a lot, because they've been taught the sort of ways of monogamy. I agree with you that it's toxic, but it's not toxic in a way that, like, makes me think you're a bad person or anything.
It's, like, toxic in, like, a way that kinks can be toxic, like, surface level.
Right. I mean, I've done and had relationships as toxic as that, but they were just kink oriented and open, you know, outside of that vision, you know.
Like, the thing about it is, like, we are having fun. Like, what matters is, you know, the two people in the relationship, how they feel about the dynamic, and we're having a great time.
I believe you.
And, like, I will say to the second, like, part of your question, I know that, like, there's things I can't give her and there's things that she can't give me, but, like, to me, like, that's where compromise comes in relationships, is, like, you kind of have to be okay with going without some things because you love your partner so much. It's almost like a sacrifice. Like, you know, I love cum, but I only date trans girls.
So true.
So
true.
So, you know, I'm sacrificing something for my love of T-girls.
Sacrificing cream pie summer.
Right.
For your love of T-girls.
Right.
That's, when you put it like that, that's noble. You sound like a knight. That's awesome. Does it make you view poly people and polyamory and polycules differently than you did a year ago when you were a single person?
A little bit, in that, honestly, I'll look back, or I'll look at other dynamics, and this is, like, judgmental.
Sure, but we're here.
But I'll look at other dynamics and I'll be like, thank God I'm not in that.
Do you look at, like, me that way?
A little bit.
Because you think that I don't bear the brunt of attention from any of the people in my life, and you would want an outcome where you would receive all of that attention.
Yeah, like, if I was in your little polycule, I would feel, like, devalued. Like, I want a person who is obsessed with me.
Mm-hmm. Do you think... Did that... Let me think of the right way to phrase this. Is that something that dawned on you in the past 6 to 9 months? Or do you think that in the back of your mind, you were really always looking for that one person?
I think throughout my whole life, I've been looking for that one person. And I was, like, introduced to poly, you know, from a previous partner.
Yeah.
And since that partner and me moving to LA, you know, most people that I've interacted with have been poly, so I've kind of just been wading through polyamory because that's what the scene is.
Yeah.
And, like, I would have my eye out for like, monogamous people, but, you know, there's such a, like, finding love is so difficult that you really can't search for it. Like, if you look too hard for it, you're not going to find it. That's what people say, you know?
I think, and this is not a roast, because you're a certified lover boy, but I think there was a point in the last year where you were looking too hard.
Yeah, and I think that, like, in the last year also, I was really promiscuous, but I kind of came out of that promiscuity realizing that I didn't feel fulfilled by having tons of sexual partners, because there was no real, like, romantic connection between any of them, or, like, real, you know, like, lasting intimacy beyond sex.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did realize that polyamory, like, maybe isn't for me as my primary mode of love. Like, I'm not closed off from it completely. Like, I think that, and this is, like, a much longer term thing, because me and, my girlfriend have only been dating for a few weeks now, so it's super new. I'm sure that, or I don't even know, like, maybe we would open our relationship up in the future, because I don't think anything is really set in stone.
Of course.
So, but we're just starting out as monogamous because we're so obsessed with each other, and that's what's working really well for us right now.
Mm-hmm. Have either of you been hit on, approached, flirted with, prompted in the weeks since you started dating? Like, because let's face it, you're both attractive, and in the T for T scene, you're gonna get hit on. Do you sort of have a spring-loaded, whoa, I'm monogamous, ready? Has that happened to you yet?
Not where I've had to say that explicitly, because I think whenever people advance on me, I just kind of, like, play it off, like I don't engage with it.
Yeah.
I just kind of, I think it's kind of cute, like, I giggle. Like, it is nice to have that attention still, and I know there is, like, we haven't even touched on the jealousy component in relation to monogamy and polyamory.
There's so many questions I want to ask you. That was one of them.
I think that you can feel jealousy in both dynamics, certainly.
Well, my specific follow-up was, and I know this is borrowing from the toxicity of cis polyamory, but, like, would you get jealous if you saw somebody flirt with your girlfriend?
I might not feel the true burning jealousy, but I would feel a protectiveness. I would feel I would have a show of masculinity to be like, hey, that's my girl, but it's not like I would actually be mad.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of it. Like, I would be kind of playing into it.
Mm-hmm.
I would be, like, not jealous because I thought anything would happen. I'm not even sure I would feel the true emotion of jealousy, because jealousy for me is really exacerbated by polyamory. And I think in, like, a trusting I have to be really careful here.
Tiptoe, but
I'd be really careful.
Yep.
But in, like, a trusting relationship, whether that's monogamy or polyamory, you'll be able to work through your jealousy because you trust your partner,
Do you think you would have ever been able to work through jealousy you experienced in the past in a poly relationship? Or do you think the only ability you have to work through it is in a similarly monogamous relationship to the one you're in now?
I can work through it in polyamory with, like, a lot of reassurance.
Yeah.
But that would only work with, a primary partnership or like a triad where either I'm the priority, which is selfish, but either I'm the priority or we're all on truly equal footing. Because otherwise my jealousy stems from not feeling special to the person. And in a monogamous relationship where I like the one I'm in right now, I feel no doubt that I'm special to my partner. So
Of course, yeah.
So as long as, my partner makes me feel special, then I don't feel that much reason for jealousy.
I might do something bad.
What?
I've been on the other side of this card before. And it would be a level of candor that I'm not sure I've ever delivered on the podcast. But I think I'm willing to do it for the circumstances.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I was in a relationship once with... God, everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. I was in a relationship once with someone who had never been in a poly relationship before. I had only been in poly relationships before. And she was more than willing to try it with me. And I was in a polycule at the time and dating her outside of the polycule. But to me, even though I am poly, I don't think I could ever do a closed polycule, like a triad or like a square, like you talk about. Like, I think that's your method of polyamory, would be a closed, like a throuple.
Yeah, probably.
Word, but, to me, and this is where I'm going to get the hate for being toxic, but I'm a sort of ride or die socialite. And there's nothing that makes me feel more alive. There's nothing as exciting to me as experiencing new things with new people. And in the back of my mind, there will always, always, always be a thirst to chase, to meet new people, to experience them socially, to go to new places, and to sort of go on the prowl to flirt with people and to make out with strangers and to, have amazing moments and amazing nights and amazing sex with people. That's like what I live for.
I'm ready to say something actually toxic.
Go ahead.
You are greedy.
Probably. Probably. Yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of people think that if they say, I have 3 partners already, but I go out 3 nights a week to flirt with strangers, to flirt with random dolls, to go on Grindr hookups. But toxically, that newness, that social hunt, that chase is the most satisfying thing in the whole world to me. That's all I want, really, at the end of the day, is to continue to chase those brand new, fun, exciting experiences. And so a closed polycule would never work for me, because part of my polyamory is a desire to do stuff like that and to always have something new on the horizon and to always be honing my skills, my flirting game, and, broadening sexual horizons and social horizons.
That makes sense. I mean, not to bring astrology up again, but you're an Aries and I'm a Taurus. And I think it's true that, I crave stability in relationships. But continue your train of thought.
My train of thought was I had a previous relationship with someone who was trying, and I believe in earnest, to be poly with me. And it never bothered them that I had a polycule. But what killed it, and what grew their resentment so much in me, was that desire to always have something new. And I think it bothered them a lot that it seemed like nothing was ever enough for me. There was always a new girl, always a new desire, a new place to go, a new experience to have. And I think that bothered the person that I was dating immensely until it broke down completely and we couldn't sustain it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was I was on the other side of that in a relationship. So
mayhaps as toxic as your possessiveness is, my toxic desire to never-ending hunt for new girls, for new experiences. I make myself sound like a predator by accident. I just like to flirt. I like to fuck girls. I like to fuck new girls. I like to talk to new girls, get to know them, explore each other's bodies. Like this is the shit that I live for. And maybe that's toxic in its own right. So I want to drag myself down to your level for a little bit. There's a lot of people can have a lot of opinions about what we have to say here today.
I think that I practice gratefulness.
And you think that I practice greed?
Yes.
Okay. I think that you practice possessiveness.
I do.
And that I practice the virtue of sharing. Because here's the thing. You're in a mutually toxic possessive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were the way that I am, and I had issues with a partner being exactly like me, I would be objectively toxic. You know, you're possessive, and your partner is possessive, and you like that about yourselves, and you like that about each other. And my partners are promiscuous. They're all ran through, and to some extent, they all chase the similar new desires that I do. And I fucking love that for them. That's why we work. So at the end of the day, even though it didn't work for me in one relationship, I don't lose sleep at night over that supposed greediness, because the people who have placed their love and trust in me know and understand that, and to a degree practice it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it is at the end of the day, like, this is a compatibility question.
I think we're both in healthy relationships.
I agree.
At the end of the day. That's, you know, as far as the two of us, or certainly anyone listening knows.
Right. Like, I mean, to be candid, there was a time when I had a little bit of a crush on you, and that wasn't gonna fly, because you're not a lover girl like I am.
Right, and it was like, I think it bothered both of us to a bit of an extent, because it was like I wasn't giving you the attention that you clearly wanted from me, and you were asking for more attention than I wanted to give you.
Yeah.
Like those compatibility issues made themselves obvious very quickly, and we moved on from it, you know?
Yeah. But now I get so much attention.
Exactly. Like, you know, you've sort of settled into the kind of thing you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I've used a lot of provocative language during this podcast, but by all means, I think we're both in healthy relationships, and I'm happy. Most of all, I'm happy that you're happy, even if it's monogamous, and I'm gonna sometimes bully you because that's lame.
Yeah. And I think that we're both in agreement that monogamy and polyamory both have their merits. Like, one is not good or bad ontologically.
Of course, it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
I do make fun of monogamous people a lot. Hand to God, I do it all the time. But it is in good faith. And hopefully my unequivocal, undying support of your happy monogamous relationship will continue to serve as a shining beacon of that begrudging respect.
Honestly, I get the bullying, like, because, I mean, we make fun of, like, cishet people, and this is just another societal norm, so, like, you know, make fun of it, because, yeah, it's good to take down, like, power structures and whatnot, but I personally am happy in my monogamous relationship.
One last question.
Mm-hmm.
Circling back to jealousy. Not from your point of view, but from her point of view. Because here's the thing. Even though you are monogamous, you are the doll's little guy.
Yeah.
So many of your friends are dolls. You know all of my girlfriends and all of my friends who are promiscuous as hell. A lot of people walk around this apartment topless. We go to play parties. and raves and shit where you see other women doing things. You do a lot of stuff that to a cis-het relationship would make the girl jealous of the guy's exposure to the sexuality of other women. Is that something that you think you'll be more conscious of?
I think that I'll be okay, I've had dreams about this where and this is because I'm on Wellbutrin right now, which gives me nightmares. I've had anxiety dreams where I forget that I'm monogamous.
And like accidentally hook up with someone?
Yes. And then I feel and then I remember, and I'm like, fuck, I'm monogamous. Like, it's like it's like forgetting in like an ADHD way. Where like, right, I'm monogamous now. But like, but if I were to guess, and I've kind of talked about this with her, like I brought up my dreams and like, just the fact that we talk about how we love that nobody else can fuck us.
Yeah.
Like that, I think it might. I don't want to like speak for her, but
I'm not so much asking you to speak for her. I'm asking you to speak for yourself. Like, do you want the promiscuity of the people around you to tighten up? Are you gonna go to less play parties? Are you gonna watch less porn?
No. I will not stop gooning.
Was that an answer to all the questions or just the porn?
All.
Okay. So you feel comfortable with your current lifestyle as openly sexual as it is, more so than a lot of cis monogamous couples would be comfortable with their partner doing. You're comfortable with that level in your life.
I think it's the intent behind it is what matters.
I agree.
Like, I can go to a play party not looking to hook up with anybody, just there for vibes. I can be loving towards my friends but not like romantic or sexual with them, just like platonic, and that's like cool. Like, I'm going into things not intending to start anything or like be too like debaucherous, you know, like I'm behaving myself is what I'm trying to say, because
right.
Like obviously we both know that like she and I were both really sexy, like we could fuck if we wanted and we would still love each other. But because we're choosing to be monogamous because it's like working really well for us, like I think we're both fine, you know, abstaining from flirtation because we care about each other so much that we only would really want to flirt with each other, or like, you know, want to be like owned by each other, like possessed by each other. And like I think that if like a ton of dolls continue to flirt with me and I don't pay them any mind because I'm locked down, I think that would turn my girlfriend on.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've correctly answered a lot of the questions that make cis monogamy and cis monogamous possessiveness so toxic and unbearable. Like, I think intent is a good way to put it. I think so long as the two of you believe in your intent to stay true to each other, a lot of the performative acts of possessiveness become unnecessary, you know?
Yeah,
like
like
she doesn't have to get mad that my friends and I walk around your apartment topless sometimes.
Yeah, cause like I'm not
She knows
looking
that.
I'm not looking at y'all sexually like that.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Like you're topless
I am
right
currently
now.
topless as we record this episode, as I often am in and around our apartment. And the fact that you're confident that she wouldn't give a shit because she correctly understands that you're approaching it in a purely platonic measure is awesome.
Because I mean, I think we're still very open-minded.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
At the end of the day, like, she dates a gooner. You've got to let the guy goon.
right.
Like, you're not going to stop. Like, you know, you're a smut guy. You're not going to stop reading that shit. Like, you're not going to stop buying little porn comics and
Right.
gooning to shit.
Because, like, if anything, we're gooner for gooner.
We goon together.
We're literally, like, trying to write, like, an erotica, like a T for T puppy erotica comic together.
Every single one of those words was better than the last word.
Like the Bible.
Please make it so. Please make it Brain Frot affiliated. Use this platform to release your little kinky puppy erotica. We've certainly got the audience for it.
Yeah, we gotta fire up the Patreon.
So that you can read personally authored Lex smut. That would be awesome. That and the awful episode we recorded high on ketamine. Easy peasy Patreon bonuses.
Yeah, we're building up material.
We just gotta record more frequently. What did you think about the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show before we leave?
There's nothing that I have to add that nobody has already said.
Really?
I mean, it was awesome.
There's the camp of it was awesome, and I would say the primary decision is like, do you think he should have played a set that was more representative of his entire career?
I liked that it was more current. I don't think it needed to span the whole discography. Honestly, when he played Humble, I was kind of like, isn't this a little outdated?
Really? Because a lot of you only get to play the Super Bowl once.
I guess that's
and
true.
So a lot of people unpack, their greatest hits of their entire career. I think there were a lot of people who were hoping that they would hear, All Right, for example, or Swimming Pools or something.
That's true. I guess it's just because he's been so current lately that it makes sense he would play the current hits.
Yeah, I guess so. I think there's an argument for me to be made that while this was an explosive cultural moment right now, an extremely impactful one, people talk about Super Bowl performances 10, 20, 30 years later. And it's really easy for me to imagine a future where people say, yeah, Kendrick's performance was great, but he locked himself into this, 8-year span of his career and only played songs from it, skipping over, his two most acclaimed albums.
Yeah, but I think, people are going to talk about Not Like Us, forever.
I hope so. In my hits video, I said that the next golden record we send into space should just be a copy of Not Like Us. Okay. I think that's all. Nothing else has happened in the world socially or politically relevant since the last podcast we recorded. It's certainly nothing related to trans people. We've definitely covered all the bases. Not sure there's anything else we need to talk about.
How about them airplanes?
If the pilot is not DEI as fuck, I'm not flying. All right, that's all I had to say.
Okay.
Good night, Pookies.
Bye.
Mwah.